Did you know that the Oticon Zeal lets you control your hearing aid just by double tapping your ear? Like so. You can change the volume, you can switch programs, you can end an Auracast stream, and you can even answer phone calls. Yep, you heard me right. They've got Auracast built in, and I've tested it, and it works. And they're just a few of the things that you'll learn in today's quick start guide for the unique Oticon Zeal hearing aids. And this is all part of a new series with simple user guides covering the basics with any new hearing aid technology that's coming out. So I need a favour of you. If you guys think that this is helpful, could you please do me a massive favour and write yes in the comments, and I'll continue making these videos for all hearing aid technology that comes out. If, on the other hand, you think it's a waste of time, write no, and I'll move on with my life. Alrighty, so let's start with the basics. And first of all, I'm going to run through the physical side of things. And to be honest, there is not too much to cover with these hearing aids. This component is the body of the hearing aid, which houses the majority of its electrical components. Oticon have apparently used similar technology to that in pacemakers, so they should be second to none when it comes to durability. Here you'll notice the microphone inlet on the faceplate. This faces outwards and is where the sound enters your hearing aid. So keeping this area clean is incredibly important, and I'll come on to maintenance in a lot of detail later in today's video. On the opposite side here, you've got the sound outlet, which protects the speaker and is covered by a medical grade silicone tip. These can come in a few different shapes and sizes depending on the shape of your ear canal and your hearing loss. On top of that, if your hearing loss warrants a custom ear mold, this can also be made for your Zeal hearing aids, which if you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll know that I am a big fan of. Your audiologist should run through which is the most appropriate tip for you. There's an LED tucked away just here, which communicates the charging status information on your hearing aids. And then finally, you can't miss this antenna, which allows the hearing aids to communicate with each other so that they're working in tandem rather than working alone. Plus with other Bluetooth or Auracast devices, such as your smartphone or any of Oticon's accessories. Now, I just need to stress, do not, I repeat, do not cut, trim, or modify this antenna. If you do, it will be a rather expensive mistake, and the whole hearing aid will need to be sent back to Oticon HQ for repair. As always in the audiology world, the blue marker indicates that this hearing aid is for the left ear, and the red shows that this one is for the right. Before you wear your new hearing aids for the first time, you'll want to charge them for a couple of hours, which is the length of time that you'll need to fully charge them every single night. Your audiologist should really have charged them before they were fitted in your ears, so they should last for a full day with your first use. The battery life can vary depending on your settings and how much you stream. This battery life can vary depending on how much you stream and your settings, but in reality it should always last at least 24 hours. When you get home that evening and charge them for the first time, you'll notice this blue and red coloured marker in the charger too, so that you can drop them correctly in place. You'll see an orange flashing light when your hearing aid is charging. A solid orange means that you can wear them and they'll give you at least 4 hours of use. And then a solid green light, which indicates that they're fully charged. Now you'll be delighted to know that you can leave them in the charger overnight, and there is clever circuitry in place to stop them from charging automatically when they're full. So you don't need to worry about overcharging them and causing any damage to the batteries. Another big plus of these hearing aids is that the charger itself contains a lithium-ion rechargeable battery too, making it portable, with Oticon claiming that you'll get 3 days of extra charge without needing to have this plugged into the mains. This means if you go camping for the weekend or anywhere without access to power, your hearing aids will still be going strong. If you swivel the charger around, you'll also notice LEDs here, which indicate the power bank's battery level. 3 green lights means between 70 to 100% of battery left, 2 lights indicates 50 to 70, and 1 indicates 35 to 50%. If, on the other hand, there's an orange flashing light, this means that you've got less than a day's worth of charge left within the charger. So it's best to put your charger on charge. I said charge a lot in that sentence. In reality, it's pretty rare for batteries to die during the day nowadays, with the batteries in these rechargeable hearing aids lasting a full day per charge as a minimum. However, if you do happen to hear 3 alternate tones, you've got around 2 hours of battery life left with an hour of streaming. To squeeze a little longer out of them, I'd recommend disabling your streaming. When you hear 4 descending tones, then your battery has fully depleted and will die within seconds. Turning these hearing aids on and off could not be easier. The moment you remove them from the charger, they automatically turn on, and then when you drop them back into the charger, they will automatically turn off. Simple. Now, whilst you can adjust these hearing aids via the Oticon companion app, you can also make adjustments using Oticon's tap control feature. As default, a double tap of your right ear will turn both of your hearing aids up, and a double tap of your left ear will turn both of your hearing aids down. If your hearing aids are personalised with extra programs, which need to be set up by your audiologist, you can also access them by tapping your ear, which will cycle through each of those different programs, and you'll hear 1 tone for program 1, 2 tones for program 2, and such and so forth. If, on the other hand, your phone is ringing and your hearing aids are paired with your phone, you can again double tap your ear and you will answer or end your phone call. Pretty cool. To insert your hearing aid, place the tip, so that's the coloured part of your hearing aid, into your ear canal with the antenna pointing downwards. It sometimes helps to pull your ear gently outwards and guide your hearing aid into place. Finally, make sure to tuck the antenna into the bowl of your outer ear. To remove, simply hold the antenna and gently pull the device out. Of course, please do this gently to not put too much pressure on the connection from the aerial to the body of the hearing aid itself. I've got to tell you that the Oticon Zeal is one of the most versatile, not the most versatile, but one of the most versatile hearing aids out there when it comes to connectivity, and is compatible with both iPhones, iPads, Macs, and Apple Vision Pro for both direct streaming and hands-free call. They're also compatible with Android devices using both Asia or Bluetooth LE audio. However, that is only for one-way streaming. And it's also worth mentioning that you can finally pick up Auracast broadcasted audio, which I'll cover shortly in a lot more detail. And then finally, as far as connectivity goes, you also have access to the Oticon companion app. And for instructions on pairing to this, you need to check out this video. So I'll link that in the description to today's video now. You cannot tell me that you're not excited to hear that the Oticon Zeal finally supports Auracast and will allow you to receive public broadcasted audio streams in compatible locations. Now, this can all be accessed via your Oticon companion app under the Auracast menu. And it is so easy to get to work. Simply click on the stream that you'd like to connect to and voila, you'll hear the game, presentations, or television that you're trying to connect to directly in both of your ears. Now, all hearing aids have an element of cleaning involved, and that's due to the waxy, hostile environment that they live in. And there are 3 main parts that you need to keep an eye on with these hearing aids. Now, first of all, I recommend to all of my patients a quick daily check, which involves wiping your hearing aids with a lint-free cloth or a tissue, especially if you notice a buildup of wax on them. I've got to say, never wash or immerse them in water, despite the waterproof rating that they've got. Secondly, if you notice that the sound is getting a bit more muffled, it might be time to change the wax filter. I'd recommend doing this once every 4 to 6 weeks routinely to ensure that your hearing aid is performing optimally. To do so, first of all, remove the silicone tip on the end of your hearing aid. Then use the tool to remove the old filter and insert the replacement. Finally, place the silicone tip back on the end by gently pushing it onto the tip. And then the final thing to do to keep your hearing aids working well is to clean the microphone ports. Using the small brush provided, periodically brush over these microphones if you can see a buildup of debris, dead skin or wax. And there are also O-cap filters that will need changing periodically, which works in a similar way to your wax filters. So using the removal end of the tool, remove the old one, spin it around and apply the replacement. Now, you may have noticed that I just brushed over the fact that your Zeal hearing aids are both dust tight and protected against water immersion, with an IP68 rating, meaning that they can technically be submerged in 1.5 meters of water for 30 minutes and they should still function afterwards. However, I say this, please, please, please do not go swimming wearing them. And if you do get them wet, make sure you dry them as soon as humanly possible. So that should get you started with your Oticon Zeal hearing aids, but I wouldn't stop doing your research here though, as there are a ton of features that I haven't covered in today's video, and you'll find them all just here.